everyone, so an interesting day in the markets today. We've got Bitcoin down another 2.5% intraday, falling as low as into the 33,000s. Currently the bulls have started to buy the dip a little bit. We're sitting here now at 34,500. Interestingly, Fantom's been up today about a percentage throughout the day, but more importantly outperforming Bitcoin. Is there a clue in this? Is there much we could read into this? We're going to go into the key levels in the charts. I'm going to explain what's going on, because right now we're at some peak levels of fun and I'm feeling it in the community, whether it's the Fantom community, whether it's the wider crypto space. We're feeling it. The Luna community is feeling it. The wider Bitcoin community is feeling it. It's a tough time out there. I just want to reiterate a few points in this video, so make sure you hit up the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. We've got a big week coming up this week. I'm going to cover off what's important in the economic calendar to watch out for this week and a whole lot more. Sit back, hit up the like button. If you like my perspective, consider joining our course member lives, Ijaz.UK/members, so you can join our 3 times weekly live stream so we can stay together in the markets and help each other through these difficult times. Right, without further ado, let's now head on over into the charts, because we can see Bitcoin. This is the daily chart we're looking at. Another big red day, 4 red days in a row now. As soon as the kind of Fed meeting was over, we had our brief rally and we just plummeted straight through our wedge on this big day on May the 5th, the day after, and then 3 consecutive red candles to the downside now. And this today was particularly quite painful. If I switch over to the hourly, you can kind of start to see what happened intraday, because intraday the bears really did start to send the price down. You can see the price did start to fall as low as about 33,000, in the 33,000s, and then the bulls over the last 2 hours have started to buy the dip a little bit. Now, you guys know on a time frame, we're looking at the descending wedge, which we fall into the downside of, and price target sits at 33,000, slightly below that, 32,900 here on the technical price target. So that's where I'm looking to go, and you can see the price movement is taking us there. We're going to get a little bit of consolidation here, and then we fell, a little bit of consolidation, and no doubt we're more likely to fall to the downside. Now, longer term, we can see that the wider market is not happy, right? It is not happy. Stocks fell on Friday. We've had Dow drops for the 6th straight week. This has not been a good 3-4 months for the wider economy, and we know that the wider economy is looking towards a global slowdown. We know monetary policy is tightening, and these are some of the hardest months over the last 2-3 years, particularly since COVID began. These are some of the most challenging times in the markets, and it doesn't look like it's going to get easy anytime soon. So anybody who kind of entered the market, and I know there's a fair share of people who are entering the market new to crypto, who have kind of heard the headlines or seen someone has had a quick win, they're getting a reality check right now, because loads of people are coming to the market, thrown a whole bunch of cash, whole bunch of their savings into an unallocated portfolio, something based on a YouTube video they've seen or an influencer they've watched or what their friend has told them, and they're really feeling it right now. And I feel for those people, because it's a really difficult place to be. I personally have been investing for many years as a professional in an investment bank, so I've been through the emotional cycles of it in a safe environment. But for people whose day job is not to trade, not to follow the markets, to be faced with such a tough market like this is very difficult. Just to make this very clear, if you're struggling right now as a new investor, you should not be feeling bad for yourself, because this is tough for professional investors out there. We're talking hedge fund managers, asset fund managers. They're struggling right now in this market. Go look at Kathy from ARK Invest, right? So Kathy from ARK Invest, how great was she doing? Kathy Wood was doing amazing. She picked Tesla. She had a really good, crazy year, and then it's crushed back to reality in 2021 and 2022. Doesn't mean she's not a good investor, right? Doesn't mean some of her picks are not good picks. Just the whole market is down right now. So we need to have that kind of caveat when we're looking at the performance right now in the market. It's a very tough market, and anybody who tells you they're doing well in the market right now, either they're lying to you, or 2, they're doing some really good trading, really experienced trading with a bit of leverage, or they're gambling and they kind of got lucky on some of the gambles, right? Which long run doesn't end well, but good for them in the short run. They can go ahead and gamble, or they can short the market, and that can work out well for them in the short run. So that's the first thing we kind of wanted to cover off. The next thing I want to cover off is, where are we in this hype cycle? And you can see we're sitting at extreme fear. And what got my piqued my curiosity today was I saw the score of 18 come up. And you guys know I monitor this every single day. And the reason I do that is I like to use it as a gauge of sentiment. And I said, hang on a second, we've not seen 18 for a good time. I went down into the charts and I followed this back. This is 18 now. And you go back and you can see that over the last particular couple of months, we just stopped at about 30s. We had touches in the 20s. And then I went back again, still nothing in March, and I kept going back until we got our score of a lower score, which was when we had these low scores in this period around the 22nd of January. We had a score of 13, and then around that period, we were really low. So let's go look at the Bitcoin chart to see around 22nd of January, where were we at in our cycle? And if for those of you who remember, 22nd of January were this point right here. And you can see my cursor. Wait, this is 22nd of January. These were these crazy low wicks at the bottom of this wedge. And guess what? We're just reaching our price target at the bottom of this wedge. And this particular long candle to the downside wicked as low as 32,933 2 days later on the 24th of January. So this is when we were at peak fear at that time, with fear and greed index sitting at 1213 level. I mean, if we go back to the fear and greed index, around those days, you were seeing fear and greed index on the 23rd of Jan at 11, and then 24th of Jan, 25th of Jan at about 12. Okay, so we're sitting at 18 now. So you got a little bit more to come off it, which makes complete sense, right? Because we're sitting at 34,500. But if we're back down to 33,000, which is our technical price target from the breakdown of this descending wedge, also happens to be the bottom of the wedge, then no doubt we're going to start to see fear and greed index be really, really low in the 12s, 13s. And guess what? If you bought in that period here, this would have been a lovely, lovely dip buy. And this is the same as what I'm doing here. I'm doing a nibble buy. Now, I want to be completely transparent and completely open with you. This does not mean I think this is the bottom. Me nibble buying does not mean I think it's the bottom. For me, it's just a local bottom here, right? I'm expecting more downside. I said the next 2-3 quarters could be really ugly in the markets. Not because of crypto, but because of the global slowdown I think we could be seeing and the continuous pressure on inflation and supply chain issues continuing to worsen. Okay, so that's my thesis on it, and that's why I will nibble here, but I'm still expecting more downside. I'm expecting us to go test 30,000 on Bitcoin and to see if we can hold 29. Because if we can't hold the 29, 30,000 level, we have to reevaluate our longer term price targets on Bitcoin, and we'll do that together on these videos. Okay, so that's really, really important that we do that. Now, what are we seeing on Fantom? Interestingly, we've got a bit of a green day. I mean, it could end up a red on the day, but interestingly, it's holding up well. On a day where Bitcoin is falling 2.5%, the normal status quo is to expect an altcoin to fall more than that, right? I mean, we've got, if you want to compare some other altcoins, Ethereum is down 2.8% to Bitcoin's 2.5%. You've got Solana down 3%. You've got ApeCoin down 7%. You've got Cardano down 24%. Luna down 2.3%. Avalanche down 4%, okay? Now, there's a couple of coins which are in the green, and two of them are Coty, which we know they're benefiting from their mainnet launch. They're up 3% today, which is great. You know, we cover off Coty on this channel. And then Fantom up 1% today. But more interestingly is I want to look at this chart, which is the Fantom versus BTC chart. You're starting to see some support come in at this level where you're seeing this good green candle today, showing some strength against Bitcoin, because ultimately Fantom's done pretty poorly over the recent time, given the FUD around the Andre Crony issue, the liquidation fears, the Deuce finance hack. There's a bunch of things which are worrying Fantom investors, and we're seeing that in the price action. So you're definitely seeing some more buy the dip happening on Fantom, holding itself around the 69 cents mark quite nicely here, given that Bitcoin just wicked down below 44,000 today. It's held up pretty well. Remember, you've still got your support level at about 68. So we're going to keep an eye on that level as well. Can we manage to hold that level about between 65 and 68 cents? Because our next one is not until 58, which is this line here. Okay, that's 58 cents on Fantom. So same thing for me with Fantom. I'm expecting more downside, and I'm preparing for more downside. Not because Fantom's a bad project, not because Bitcoin is going to see pressure, but because they're all going to see pressure because of the wider global slowdown. And I expect equities to continue to be red, and I'm expecting crypto to continue to be red as well. So for me, very clearly, I'm continuing to dollar cost average in my portfolio positions. I can't stress that enough. Now, what you do is going to be very different based on what your portfolio allocation is. And this is a very important point I want to make right now. And the point is, we can't compare. The advice you seek for your crypto portfolio has to be tailored to your specific situation. For example, me having conviction in Fantom, maybe I can hold Fantom to a lower price point than somebody like yourself could. If you've just bought Fantom because your friend has told you about it, or because you watched an influencer, I can't be your conviction for Fantom. No way. Because my cards are stacked differently. You don't know how much on my portfolio Fantom is. You don't know what entry price point I have. You don't know what my average cross basis is. Therefore, how can we make the same decisions? We can't. And therefore, it's not important. It's not right for you guys or anybody here to be holding their hope in based on an influencer, based on somebody telling them to hold a coin. You've got to do your research. If you've got a cost basis of $2.51 and Fantom is 80% of your portfolio, you're probably not going to do the same thing that I'm doing in the markets, right? Whereas if you've got a cost basis like mine, where you very prudently have been buying the dip, buying the pullbacks, getting a nice low cost basis, you were in early anyway. It's a smart portion of your portfolio, which if was wiped out, you wouldn't be bothered anyway. You believe in the product. You've got good research in terms of the conviction of the product. You understand the tech stack. You've been studying it for a long time. Then it's different, right? And that's the key. You have to have conviction in your own investments. You need to sleep in the bed which you make. And you can't put that on anybody else. You can't put that on your friend. You can't put that on an influencer. At the end of the day, you make the investment. Nobody forces you to buy a coin, and nobody forces you to hold a coin. And you certainly don't want to be holding a coin which you could panic sell because you have either the wrong portfolio allocation or the wrong levels of conviction. Really, really important. And I can't stress this enough. I'm not going to sit here and tell you Fantom is going to the moon, nor is any other coin going to the moon which I hold. Luna's not going to the moon. Bitcoin is not going to the moon. Crypto as a whole is not going to the moon right now. We're going to see some tough times, right? So if you're here for that and you have, some crazy portfolio allocations without listening to the kind of stuff I share in these videos in terms of how to divide your portfolio out, how to be sensible with your allocations, how to buy on pullbacks and buy on the dips and dollar cost average and not to panic sell, then, you're in a different world. And therefore your decisions and the things you need to do are from a different place. So that's really important and something I definitely wanted to cover off. Now, the next thing to look at is what do we have coming up this week? And the first thing we have coming up this week is on Wednesday, we do receive the CPI reading. Going to be really important, and that can move the markets leading up to it, and definitely once we get the CPI reading. Again, remember, if CPI comes in hot, if it shows that the first increase in interest rates is not having an effect, inflation is still rampant, markets will sell off and they'll panic because they're going to be worried that Jerome Powell is going to have to come out stronger and harder, and inflation continues to be an issue. Another huge milestone for Fantom, because today Fantom managed to cross over 3 million. Yes, 3 million unique address charts. So whilst people are busy spreading FUD because their profit is their P&L is in the red, which by the way, a lot of people's P&L are in the red right now, the reality is we need to focus on fundamental metrics. And this is why you should have invested in the first place. And I know the people that are hurting right now did not invest for these purposes in the first place. They invested because of price action. They saw price moving. They chased green candles. They had green candle disease. They watch influencers. And they're looking for a quick 100 to 1,000x. They don't admit it, but it's fine. Go watch this video. I explain the psychology and the human rationale behind instant gratification. But here, this is true fundamentals. 3 million wallet addresses. But look what's more important. I want to go back to show you how long it took from when Fantom was created, mainnet in about December 19, right? The mainnet was launched. It took up to, here we go, roughly here. Okay, let's just call it there. About October 2021 to cross 1 million addresses. October 2021, guys. That is just 7 months ago, right? 7 months ago, they crossed their first million. And since then, the second million was then done by, I'll show you. The second million took them from October to just about here. We'll take it there, February. So from October to February, 4 months for the next million. So look at the rate of growth. First one took them from December 19 to October, right? 2021. Then the next one took them just 4 months. And then from February to now, early March, okay, you've achieved another million. This is exponential growth. This is adoption. This is people using the platform, actually having a unique address and showing that adoption is coming to the Fantom network. These are the important things to monitor, not to get caught up in price action. Because if you look at this is the complete inverse of what the price is doing in this time, right? So the price is going down, but people are using it. Fantom is a far better project today than it was when the price was at all-time highs. And that's what's important. You're now getting an opportunity to buy Fantom in at a cheaper price if you have conviction. If you don't have conviction, you're buying yourself a world of pain because you're going to buy now at 69 cents. If it falls to 50 cents, you're going to panic sell. But if you've got conviction and you know it's a project which you think is valued at $2, $3, $4, $5 over time, then buying at 60 cents, 59 cents, 58 cents is going to be a doddle for you. And any lower price points are just further opportunities for you personally to buy the dip. And this goes for any coin. We're talking about Fantom today. It could be any coin. This is the important thing to monitor. Furthermore, let's take a look at the Rouche wallet, which a lot of FUD was spread around this wallet in terms of liquidating and, oh, look, Fantom's not going to be able to cope with the liquidity. Again, just a bunch of people with FUD. Just FUD. It's just FUD. And FUD is frustrating because the reality is, if you don't like a project, and I've said this before because loads of people always comment, oh, you know, why do you care so much about Fantom? I cover Fantom very clearly because the community like Fantom and there's not enough people covering it. So I cover Fantom. I could easily cover Bitcoin. I do cover Bitcoin. I like to cover Bitcoin. I could cover Luna, which I do it from time. I cover Algorand. I cover Coty. I cover Fantom because not a lot of people cover it. And I think it's a great project. Not because I think it's the best project in my portfolio. No, not necessarily. Because the majority of my allocation is Bitcoin. And my Ethereum is more than Fantom. Right? My Cardano is actually more. Solana is more because I stick to my philosophies of mid cap, large caps, micro caps. Which you don't, if you don't know that, get into our Discord and get involved so we can teach you that. But the reality is we cover Fantom off because it's a great project. And if you come back to here, loads of FUD was being spread with people who for whatever reason, they've said they've already sold their Fantom. But in that case, if you've sold your Fantom, stop watching Fantom videos. Why after you've sold, do you have to then convince the whole of the Fantom community to sell? That's always a red flag for me. It's like a preacher, right? Like you've sold, move on, right? There's going to be so many great projects which I miss. I'm not going to find all of them. And I'm going to invest in many bad projects as well. It's just how investing goes. But the reality is, if I don't like a project, I don't go into all those forums and all those YouTube channels which are covering off a project and saying scam, scam, scam. I don't like SafeMoon. Do I go on SafeMoon's community and say, I don't like SafeMoon, I don't like SafeMoon, I don't like... No, we've got better things to do. Move on. Let people invest in it. If they make money in it, fantastic for them. What do we care? We go find the projects which we believe in, which we have conviction in. I personally can't have conviction in every great project out there. I don't have enough time. I can't do that much research to research every project to a level where I can get high conviction in. So I've accepted the fact that I can miss great projects. And I've accepted the fact that I can be invested in bad projects too. So coming back to this, the health score is now 143, which is really good. Remember, if you fall below 1, you start to get liquidated on Screen Finance. So the owner of the Whale wallet here has gone ahead and put more collateral in here in terms of Fantom, which is really good. He's in a safe position. So no more FUD around that for now, please. Now, what else do we have to cover off? I think we've pretty much covered off most bases here. The only thing I want to mention just is going to be a volatile period, guys. It's going to be a very volatile period, and I need you guys to have your mind space in check. Don't let the fudsters get to you. Have your rationale on a piece of paper. It helps sometimes, whether it's a post-it note or a note on your phone or a Word document, just to sometimes go down each of the coins which you have a substantial net worth in, and just put a few bullet points reminding yourself of why you think it's great. I remember I used to do this for Tesla, right? When Tesla is on the verge of bankruptcy, when nobody believes in it, they say it's rubbish. Then they're nailing Elon Musk at the time, who, by the way, wasn't this icon back then, right? People thought he was crazy. And I just take the post-it note and I'll be like, no, everybody's going to be driving electric. It's just the best car right now. People just aren't getting it. Autonomous vehicles, the self-driving cars, the electricity play, like it's just, he's going to get it right. And when you go and put those bullet point downs on down on paper, it really helps you to nullify the fudsters who would just come out with arbitrary FUD. Today it's, you know, a Whale wallet. Tomorrow it's something else. It just really helps you nullify that. Say, hang on a second, I know what I'm doing. I'm invested in it. The price action's trying to FUD me out and scare me. I'm not going to fall for it. I'm invested. I'm going to buy the dip by this much. I'm not going to let that part of my portfolio get way out of hand, but I'm going to keep as a sensible part of my portfolio. That's it. Just do that. Now, guys, don't forget Tuesday, which is in a couple of days time from now. We're recording this on a Sunday, so not tomorrow, but Tuesday, we have Michael Kong, the CEO of Fantom, live on the show to give us an interview. So again, if you want to have your question, post your very best questions in our Discord. Pin comment below, head into the free Discord channel. There'll be a channel in Discord called Fantom CEO Questions, I believe. Head into there and submit your favorite question, which you want asked to Michael Kong. The most upvoted questions will be put to him on Tuesday by me. I want it to be a Q&A session where we put the questions to Michael based on what the community want to hear. Not just what I want to ask, based on what you want to know about the Fantom project, the questions you have. So put your favorite questions in there and we'll make sure we'll go through those, pick out the most upvoted ones and get them put to the CEO of Fantom, Michael Kong, on Tuesday. So there you have it, guys. What I'm going to do is I'm going to link up the videos to the Andre Cronje video. If you still haven't watched that, really important that you go watch that. And also the video from Simone Pomposi, the CMO of Fantom. In times like this, go back to the fundamentals. Listen to the team. Look at the project. Look at the technology stack. Remind yourself of why you think certain projects are good. Not just for Fantom. Do this with your Luna bag. Do this with Bitcoin. Remind yourself why Bitcoin as a long-term narrative. Remind yourself of why you invest in it. It's like topping up your motivation of why you bought it. Because when you did start buying, you had that impetus, you had that belief, you had the fundamental understanding. Just make sure you're always topping that up. You need to constantly top that up. Do that for all your top bags, whether it's Solana, whether it's ADA, whether it's Bitcoin, whether it's Ethereum. Remind yourself of why you hold these and build that conviction. It's never like, oh, I've got enough conviction. Keep building that conviction over time. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next one.